But I want to be super, super transparent today and start with the fact that a lot of times you don't know what's going on with other people. People make assumptions that, hey, Emerald, hey, Tanisha, that they're the only ones having a hard time. And that's absolutely positively not true. Hey, Elizabeth. And so recently I've had, we're just going to call them, hey, Allison, a series of unfortunate events. Hey, Precious. Hey, Alto V's. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Aisha. We're just going to call them a series of unfortunate events. Hey, Prophetic Teacher. Thanks for inviting followers. Marissa, Felita, Linda. Thanks for inviting followers. Precious. Thanks for inviting followers. Thank you, Kimberly. And I just want to real quick make sure I'm talking to the right people. Hey, Philip, welcome back. Have you ever had what seemed to be a series of unfortunate events happen to you? Good morning, Bernicia. It seemed like, that's what an old school song, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Have y'all ever caught yourself singing that song? Some of y'all too young to understand. But it's an old song that say, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Y'all ever heard that song before? Hey, good morning, Luann. Hey, Angelia, good morning. And so recently, good morning, Verlene. Good morning, Tasha. I felt myself singing. Right, exactly, Philip. Hey, Pastor Nikki. Thank you, Lolo. I felt myself singing that song. Like, man, if it ain't one thing, it's another. And so I wanted to, number one, tell you you're not by yourself. Good morning, truly, Natasha. That everybody at some point has to go back to the drawing board to figure this thing called life out. So I wanted to do two things. Number one, I wanted to do this broadcast. And number two, I'm going to do a repeat tonight of the broadcast that I did in Dallas because there was some confusion about the pricing. It's only $19 for the live stream. Go to bit.ly/Dallas Millions. And the broadcast tonight is how to survive in tough economic times. And they are coming and you need a plan. They are coming and you need a plan. So my suggestion is that you invest $19. It's $19 for everyone, even UCU, because originally it was a live presentation. But my suggestion is you invest $19 to get you a plan. Hey, Adria, on how to survive in tough economic times. bit.ly/Dallas Millions. Purchase the live stream ticket. But today, we're going to be talking about how do you survive a spiritual, personal, whatever kind of attack you want to call it on your life and business. And that's actually what's going on when you feel like you can't get ahead, when you feel like things are happening to you back to back to back. That's the spiritual attack. You call it what you want to call it. Look at your neighbor and say, that's an attack. And the best way for you to get beyond it is to, number one, acknowledge that it is a spiritual attack on your life and your business. See, the Bible did not say this thing would be easy. It just said it would be worth it. And I'm going to tell you when spiritual attacks get worse. When you start to move. And if you haven't shared this broadcast, good morning, Tambala. Make sure you share this broadcast. When you start to move towards your destiny, they get worse. I don't think anybody heard me. Good morning, Carisha. I don't think you understood what I'm saying. When you start to move to that place where you're about to be free, the attacks get harder and they get heavier. And the majority of us fall back instead of pushing forward. The majority of us, to the point that, well, that's what the attack is designed for. So that you can start questioning yourself. So that you can pull up on your destiny, so that you won't get to the resolution, so that you can continue to be broke, so you can continue to be upset, so you can continue to be depressed, so you can continue to think you're losing your mind. That's exactly what the attack is for. You got to remember who you're dealing with. The author of confusion. You got to remember that he's here to steal, kill, and destroy. And so, the majority of us, we say, oh, well, we fall back. But what you have to remember is when you wasn't up to no good, seemed like didn't nothing ever go wrong. When you was out running the streets, and when you was out drinking, hey, Taria, when you was out doing this and that, seemed like did nothing. But when you buckled down and said, I'm about to get it, come on now, hey, Prophetess Brittany, I'm finna get really real with the women in the room. Have you ever said, I'm going on a diet on Monday? Come on now, let's talk about it. And if you haven't shared this broadcast, make sure you share this broadcast. Have you ever said, I'm going on a diet on Monday? And on Monday, fried chicken starts to show up. And on Monday, chocolate cake starts to show up. And on Monday, you got all kind of danishes and all, come on now. I could not be the only one. I could not be the only one. Or whatever it is that you said you about to do better, the minute you say, I'm about to go to the gym. Oh, the next day it's pouring down raining. Oh, I'm about to quit fooling with such and such. The next day, he all in your face. It doesn't matter, life, relationships, food, it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm not fooling with him no more. Oh, the next day he bringing you flowers. Somebody say true story. See, this is a true story. This is my life. Good morning, Melinda. Right, Ornell? And the minute I say that I'm about to do better with something, the opposite. So I said, okay, Coach, what you gonna do? Because I'm not to lay down and take it tight. Hello? And every bit of advice that I give you guys, I give myself times 10. So, good morning, Dr. G's. Not only do I not let you make it, I don't let myself make it. Some of y'all know you need to be in a coaching program, but the enemy has shifted your vision so poorly that you feel like you can't afford $59 a week for a coaching program. True story. Absolutely true. Some of you know you need to move your business ahead, but the enemy has twisted your mind so bad that you won't do what it takes to come up with $59 to change your life a week. And that's the truth. And so you got to fight the enemy back. Listen to me. You got to remember a couple of things. Number one, I did my research this morning. Number one, the enemy relies on strategy. The enemy will come at you based on your habits. I'm going to wait and let that sink in. The enemy will come at you based on your weak points. And everybody has different ones. So I may be looking at your attack saying, girl, that ain't even no hard attack. But to you, it's difficult because that's your opportunity area. Absolutely, Prophetess Brittany. He examines his opponent. 1 Peter 5:8 said, be self-controlled and alert. I'm going to let that sink in. 1 Peter 5:8 said, be self-controlled and alert. I want you to do a hard thing today. And a hard thing today is that I want you to look at one area where the enemy is attacking you. And I want you to ask yourself, what have I done, hey, PK, to contribute to this attack? Boy, that's so deep. I had to go into stealth mode on you for a minute. That's so deep. I had to get quiet on you for a minute. That when you realize, I want you to look at one area of your life. And I want you to say, okay, I know the enemy is attacking me. Hey, Stephen, in this area of my life. And I want you to be brutally honest with yourself and with the world. Put it on Facebook if you want to. Tag me in it. And say, I know that I've played a part in this attack. And this is how. And that's the first way you break the bonds. That's the first. See, you got to break the yoke. Exactly, Brandis. Where did I leave holes in the fence? What have I done to contribute to this attack? My money ain't right in my business, but I know I'm not marketing every day. I'm contributing to that attack. My money ain't right in my business, but I won't go over there to Coach Danielle for $59 a week with the answer. I'm just going to sit here and stay. See, Winston Churchill said, when you're going through hell, keep going. What am I doing to contribute to this attack? Have I just sat down and allowed the devil to have his way? Did I leave a chink in my armor? Did I not put on my whole armor of God every day? What have I done? And I promise you, if you're brutally honest with yourself, a lot of people won't be. If your lights are off, what did you do? If your bills ain't paid, what did you do? At some point, you allowed your fear, your uncertainty, you've allowed something within your heart or your mind to derail your next level, and you want to blame it on him, but you got to blame it on yourself for, number one, leaving the opening, and number two, not fighting back. Is this a true story for anybody? You've got to ask yourself, what have I done? Is it my lack of self-confidence? Do I not believe who the word says I am? See, when you got self-confidence issues, you got a faith issue. I'm going to repeat that so that you get it. And if you haven't shared the broadcast, share the broadcast. When you got self-confidence issues, when in your heart and in your mind, you don't believe that you are worthy for people to pay you. When in your mind and in your heart, you don't believe that you are worthy of millions. When in your mind and in your heart, you don't believe, you got a self-confidence issue. And that goes all the way back to your book. Because at the point that you can't believe who the Bible says you are, you got a faith issue. That is a faith issue. I don't care who man tells you you are or that you are not. It's about who the word tells you that you are. And if you ever forget it. So that goes back to, if you're under spiritual, financial, emotional, physical attack, you got to ask yourself, what have I done to contribute to this attack? Now let's talk about getting over it. Let's talk about getting through the attack. Number one, faith is the answer. I went through something this weekend. I got some information. Hey, Shelly, that buckled my knees for a minute. See, this is where faith comes in. Because faith, wait a minute now, faith is going to determine how long that information buckles you. I didn't need an amen. Hey, Edie, congratulations on being published in, what were you published in? U.S. News and World Reports? What was that? You got to tell us so I can get it right. Faith determines how long your knees gonna buckle. So it buckled me for a minute. Then I started to remember and say things like, all things are working for the good of those who love the Lord. Do y'all remember that? Good morning, Susan. Do y'all remember that? All things. He didn't say some things. He didn't say a couple of things. I had to remember he said all things. And then I had to do this too. James 4:7. See, I had to get back to my book. James 4:7 said, resist the devil and he will flee from you. You want to put the devil on the run? Resist him. Resist what he's telling you about your finances and your next level. Good morning, Starlyn. Thanks for sharing, love. Resist what he's telling you about your future. Sitting over there convincing you not to get help. Sitting over there convincing you to stay where you are within your capacity. Convincing you to live a life of less than where you're supposed to be. Come on now. At some point, you got to say to yourself, devil, you finna quit lying to me. James 4:7 said, resist the devil and he will flee from you. So are you resisting? Or are you listening to what he's telling you? If I get on the phone with one more individual that says, Coach, I've been watching you. I've been following you for a year, 2 years, and you've yet to sign up for a $59 a week coaching program. I'm like, who are you listening to? Because at some point you come here for a reason. At some point, you know this is your alignment. At what point do you take the shackles off yourself and allow yourself to act? And that's the true story. So remember, you got to remember this is only a test. See, we're all being tested. That's another thing you got to do. Remember Job? Anybody know about Job? If you know about Job, say I do, Coach. Anybody know about Job? See, the devil said, can I test him? And the Lord said, I got faith in Job. You sure can. And what you have to remember, even when things look they darkest outside, that this is only a test of your emergency faith system. How big is your faith? Because see, remember that everything you have in your life, good and bad, is in accordance to your faith. I'm going to repeat that again. Remember that everything you have in your life, good and bad, is in accordance with your faith. So when your faith stutters, your destiny do too. When your faith starts tripping out, your finances do too. When your faith is weak, your relationships are too. When your faith is sometimey, your business is too. Everything is in accordance to your emergency faith system. And good morning, Colleen. And when your faith is not strong, even the smallest attack will bring you to your knees. So we're talking about this morning, how do you survive an attack in life and business, whether it's personal, spiritual, physical, financial, it doesn't matter. I'm going to start with number one. Number one is be ready. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, be ready. Let me tell you why I say be ready. We have this whole denial mindset. We want to act like because the sun is shining today, that the sun will shine tomorrow. And that is not the case. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, be ready. See, if you stay ready, if you stay praying all the time, let's talk about what ready looks like. Good morning, Money Strategist. Good morning, Beauty with Brandywine. If you stay praying all the time, then when things get hard, you ain't got to just jump and start praying because you've been praying. See, if you stay reading your Bible all the time, y'all not watching me this morning. Y'all not understanding. See, you got to be ready. Good morning, Andrea. You got to be ready. Well, see, when I don't know what you're talking about, Grunk, but you got to go. But see, when things come and you act like it's a surprise, I'm under attack, what do? You spending more time lamenting the attack than you are guarding the attack. So number one is be ready. Even the Bible says, in this world, there will be troubles. Good morning, Tawanda. So you got to spend time getting your prayer life ready. Good morning, Keisha. You got to spend time getting your self-esteem ready. Okay, can I give y'all a hard example? I'm going to give y'all a personal example. When I first stopped wearing fake hair and said, I'm going to walk around the world bald-headed, which is abnormal. Somebody say, go on, coach. Go on and tell a story. I had to prepare, good morning, Zanera, myself for what the world would say. Thank you, Erica. Good morning, Unruly Cause. Is that a true story? When I first said, okay, I'm not for the wear this hair no more, tired of this hair, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to be me, my hair falls out, I'm through fighting with it, it's what God wants, I'm going to give in. I had to prepare myself for what the little kids was going to be looking at me, so I don't go off on them. And so even the grown folks that act like they ain't got no home training, so I don't go. I had to prepare myself. For what I thought the world was going to say. I would be a fool. Good morning, Ashley. Thank you, Shay. I would be a fool to be different than everybody else and think that the world would not have something to say. I would be a fool to not be prepared. And some of you are running your businesses unprepared. You're running your life unprepared. Your relationships unprepared. You got to think of different things that you do in your life as insurance. Because why would you invest so much time and so much energy in anything and then not be prepared? So I saw something last week that was confirmation. And a lot of you that have been rocking with me for a long time, you know that I study so many business trends that I can tell you from a business perspective, a lot of times where things are going to go. And so I saw confirmation. They said Warren Buffett lost $3.7 billion. Look at your neighbor and say billion. Warren Buffett lost $3.7 billion last week in the stock market. Some of us can't afford to lose $3.7 in our business. I'm getting deep now. Y'all better go on, keep going with them hearts now. Don't act like I lost you. Because you know, some of us couldn't afford to lose 3.7 quarters in our business, much less $3.7 billion. So what does that tell you? When the leading economic godfather, the person that sets the financial trends, is losing money, what does that tell you about the economy? There is about to be a shift. Hello? So when I went to Dallas last week, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a presentation on 7 ways to still earn money when the economy shifts. Edie is a realtor. She'll tell you that if you don't pivot when the economy shifts, you stand to lose it all. So there was some miscommunication with the pricing. I said, okay, Lord, you know better. I'm going to redo it tonight. bit.ly/Dallas Millions. You can buy the live stream ticket. It's $19. I even cut the price because I said, Lord, you know my heart. I want people to get this. And the reason why I want you to get it is because I don't want you to wait until the bottom falls out and then say, Coach, now what? What did I just say? When you know that attacks are imminent, you got to be prepared. You can't wait until the economy blows up and then say, now what, Coach? You can't wait till it starts snowing to put salt down. You can't wait till it starts raining to build an ark. You can't wait. You've got to get that. And you've got to understand that this economy is number one. Remember, I was a vice president at the bank for 16 years. So number one, we're due for an economic downturn. Right? bit.ly/Dallas Millions. Click on the live stream link for $19. It's tonight at 6 p.m. I don't know if they got the time right, but it's tonight at 6 p.m. So number one, we're due for an economic downturn. Number two, who's in office? I'm gonna let that rest on your mind. See, you got years that you got presidents that are going to advocate for you. You got years where you got presidents that are going to advocate against you. When you know you got somebody that's advocating against you, shutting the government down, delaying income tax checks, how dare you sit up there and act like you didn't know an attack was coming? Somebody say, true story, Coach. At some point, you got to say to yourself, I am going to be prepared. I'm going to be ready so that I don't have to get ready. I'm not going to wait until the bottom falls out and then try to scramble backwards. That's not fair to you, and that's not fair to your business. So you've got to be ready. So that's number one, you got to be ready. Number two, once you prepare, good morning, Gold Digger TV, you got to be ready to persevere. Good morning, Keisha. Sometimes I'm so distraught that we would give up so quickly on the wrong things. Can I explain that? Somebody say, explain it, Coach. We give up too quickly on the wrong things. You'll give up on your business before you give up on your job. You'll give up on your marriage before you give up on your job. You will give up on yourself before you give up on a boss. We are so quick to give up on the things that matter. And if we just stay the course, we ain't got to make big steps every day. This ain't about monumentous leaps. This is just about staying on your feet, keeping your head above water. If we would just stay the course, I'm telling you, it'll take you light years. Every time you give up on yourself, you go right back to square one. Do you realize that? I'll tell you this too about coaching. You can believe me or you cannot believe me. The clients that stay in the program and stay the course, they earn the money. The ones that jump in and jump out like a deer in the headlights, coaching is not a one-time occasion. You'll come, you'll get ideas, you'll make money, and then you'll flee the scene. Then you wonder why it doesn't work. That's like going to the gym for 30 days or 60 days and then not going back for the rest of the year. That's like eating right for 30 days or 60 days and then not going back for the rest of the year. Exactly, Brandis. And that's what quitting on yourself leads to? It leads to regrets. How many of you, let's be honest. Let's be honest. How many of you have a regret of something that you started and you didn't finish? How many of you regret starting coaching and then giving up before you could even see the impacts? Let's just tell the truth. How many of you realize, man, if I'd have just kept going? But see, that's what the enemy does. He's going to get in your face until you quit. And once you quit, he can go on to the next person. I'm being brutally honest with you. Guys, you're not the only one. Because of the economy shift, I've had to redo my entire marketing plan. The entire way we do business has shifted. You're not by yourself. But let me tell you what I didn't do. I didn't keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. And that's number 3. Learn from your mistakes. That's number 3. Learn from your mistakes. So number 1 was be ready. We know mistakes are going to come. Right? Number 2 is keep going. We can't afford to stop now. Number 3 is learn. Learn from your mistakes. Some of you are making the same exact mistakes in business year over year. The same exact mistakes in life year over year. Wait a minute. I'm going to ask a question, and I know not many of you are going to answer it. I know. Do you ever feel like you're in the same place that you were last year, year before, or if you have moved, you feel like you ain't moved that much? How many of you are willing to admit that? How many of you are willing to admit that there's been goals that you set for yourself? I can admit it from a fitness perspective. From a fitness perspective, I can admit there's things that I said I wanted to do that I haven't. From a fitness perspective, there's goals that I made that I haven't. From a fitness perspective, I can honestly say I've been in the same spot year over year over year. But I'm going to tell you what. I'm not going to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. And I don't even have to tell anybody what I'm going to do. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something about it. And whatever it costs me. See, here's the difference between me and you now. Whatever it costs me to do something about it, I'm willing to pay it. Some of you are stuck financially in your business, and because you're stuck financially, you don't feel you can afford to pay $59 a week to become unstuck. And if I asked you right now, how many of you would be willing to invest $59 a week to become unstuck? Have a conversation with me. Get signed up. Don't keep living in regret. Don't keep allowing the attacks of the enemy to win. It's difficult. It goes against everything you've done up until now. And in order for you to get to where you want to be, you have to admit that everything I've done up until now has been wrong. Or not what I need to get me where I need to be. My girlfriend, my business best friend said, this is what always separates you from so many of us. You go without sleep when something needs to get done. You pay for help when you need it. God, Shelly will tell you, I've invested in help over the years. Some of it helped me, some of it didn't. But if I thought that it would help me, I made the investment. And sometimes just by making the investment, I changed my mindset. See, you don't know what you don't know. And at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, am I going to stay here and stay under attack? Or am I going to move and do something different? And if you want to move and do something different, send me a message. But be serious. Don't send me a message and say, Coach, can we talk? And we get on the phone and you still fighting with the devil. You got to be ready to win. It's a true story. And that's number 4. Is be ready for victory. Claim the victory. You know, I might not be where I want to be, but I feel like where I am compared to where I was is a victory. And I'm not going to let the enemy do anything to steal my next level. See, I'm doing exactly what James 4:7 says, resist the devil and he will flee from you. So let me tell you what I do. Y'all want to know how my mindset works as it relates to success? Do y'all want to know how my mindset works when it relates to setting big goals and achieving them? Anybody want to know? You welcome, Patricia. Anybody want to know? Somebody say, tell us, Coach. Thank you, Teresa, for sharing. I set the goal first. I set the goal first. And then I do whatever it takes to work backwards and make that goal. So I'll give you an example. This month, my goal is to get 100 new clients in my coaching university. I'm launching a Facebook mastery class, and I'm launching another live stream class. How many of you know you need to master Facebook? Say me. I'm going to show you exactly how my mind works. Watch this and keep up. How many of you know for a fact, just because you're on Facebook, if you're not making money on Facebook, you're not a Facebook master. So how many of you know you need to improve your Facebook skills? Mark Zuckerberg changing algorithms by the day. What you did yesterday didn't work. Oh, you're welcome, Deborah. So how many of you know that? Say me. Right? So I'm launching a Facebook mastery class, and I need at least 50 people. And guess what? I priced the class so competitively that if you say no, you don't want it. How many of you know you need a live stream class? Say me. You see people making money left and right on live stream, and it's not you, and you know you need it. How many of you know you need a live stream class? Say me. I'm going to show you how I work backwards. So let me tell you what I did. When people join my live stream university, right, they get the live stream course, and then they get another course each quarter for only $59 a week. So basically you're saying, Coach, I'm paying you $30 a week for the Facebook class, $30 a week for the live stream class, and then $59 a week for other classes throughout the year so I can stay in a coaching program. Do you think I won't get 100 people? Now, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get those 100 people. I said, I need 100 people. So number 1, I priced it competitively. Number 2, I'm going to go live often. Number 3, I'm sending video messages via email. Number 4, I'm going to do multiple workshops and telesummits. Number 5, I'm doing multiple live events. See, is it Dana? Is it Dana Armstead? So wait a minute. So I set a big goal. I said I'm going after 100 people. But I didn't stop and say, I'm going to wait. Hey, boo. Hey, gorgeous. I miss you. Hey, good morning, Lanita. Good morning, Flash Day. I didn't say I'm going to sit back and wait on them to come to me. I prayed at the beginning of the year. I said, Lord, send me the individuals who are ready to earn 6 and 7 figures this year. High 6 figures and 7. I'm going to call you, boo. I rode by your little Mexican restaurant yesterday, and I thought about you. I'm going to call you. And I said, don't send me the players. Don't send me the people who are not serious. Don't send me the people who want to play. Because I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make the big goal happen. And that's how much faith I have. See? Some of you don't even have enough faith to set the big goal. Does that make sense? Some of you wake up and you go about your business, and whatever happens during the day, you're okay. Now, one thing I love about my sister, Dana Armstead, baby, that Mary Kay chick right there will set a big goal, and then she will go get it. By any means necessary, whatever the cost. See, some of you are living life, good morning, Sasheen, by default. Instead of, hey, Crash woman, instead of saying, here's my big goal, I'm believing God for this goal, I'm going to get the right strategy to make this goal. If you haven't shared the broadcast, make sure you share the broadcast. We're talking about how do you survive a spiritual, physical, financial, economic attack on your life and business. Some of you have been in the same spots for years, supporting everybody else and won't support yourself. So we're talking about how do you be proactive so that the enemy can't win. And the way my mindset works is the first thing I do, I set a big goal. I come up with a strategy. And if I need to invest in somebody to help me with a strategy, right? So I'm going to invest. I'm going to invest in a strategy. That's what I'm going to do first. And so once I've invested in this strategy, then I'm going to do whatever I physically can in order to make it. And then that's where a lot of people go wrong, is you give up and not willing to do whatever it takes. And doing whatever it takes is a whole nother ball game. Hey, Sherwood. So does that make sense what I'm saying? Listen, attacks are going to come. If you're sitting there and you think that you're going to be old Mother Hubbard that lives in the shoe and the devil ain't going to bother you, that's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. But then you got to say to yourself, what's the first thing I said when I came on here today? You got to ask yourself, what are you doing to contribute? What are you doing to contribute to his attack? Oh, the enemy's attacking me. Oh, the enemy's attacking me. I done got put out of my house. Well, ma'am. Y'all know my next question is going to be right. Well, ma'am, did you pay your rent? Oh, you didn't? Okay. So is the enemy attacking you? What did I do to contribute to this attack? Can you guys see me on Periscope okay? Hey, Darius, good morning. What did I do to contribute to the attack? Is that a true story? Is that fair? Is that okay? Oh, my lights out. So is the whole block lights out? Or just your lights out? Okay. So did you pay your light bill? Oh, you didn't? So is the enemy attacking you, or are you contributing to your own sabotage? And then so you say, well, coach, I didn't have enough money to pay my light bill. Oh, okay. But you have a business, right? So you mean to tell me you got in every client face this month and asked them for money? You mean to tell me you went live every day this month to get your money? You mean to tell me you ran a marketing plan every day this month to get your money? You mean to tell, so your lights are out and you're saying that's an attack of the enemy. But you got to also say to yourself, what did I do or what did I not do that contributed to my current problem? See, we already said, Peter 5:8 said, be self-controlled and alert. Be self-controlled and alert because the enemy is watching you. That's his job, to steal, kill, and destroy. And so he's going to come at you in the manner in which you leave yourself exposed. You know you got weak people on your team. You know you got people around you that are not loyal. You know you got folks around you that's drilling holes and not rowing. But you keep them around you because you're comfortable. Shame on you. Shame on you. I don't love nobody that much. Family, friends, lifetime friends. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. If you are under attack, you got to ask yourself, hey, Angela, what did I do to contribute? So number one, we said be ready. Attacks are going to come. Are you ready? So tonight I'm going to redo the Dallas. I did it live in Dallas last Thursday. I'm redoing it tonight. I said family faith. I meant it. Just because you were assigned to me by a familiar hierarchy does not mean that I got to trust you with my business. Just because you are assigned to me by a series of hookups does not mean that I need to trust you with my business. Just because you were assigned to me on a family tree does not mean that I got to trust you. It doesn't. It affords you no rights. The only exception to that is my mother, because she allowed me to be born. Everybody else is optional. You may think that's cutthroat. You may think that, but get dragged down enough times. See, I'm going to go back to what I said. See, the enemy knows what your weak spots are. I'm not saying don't feed your family. I'm not saying don't clothe your family. I'm saying don't be vulnerable to anyone who has the intent of sabotaging you. Good morning, Marin. Is this making sense to anybody? Somebody say, keep going, coach. I'm saying that when you see, like, you know, Maya Angelou said it best. She said, once someone shows you, I'm going to repeat what a wise woman once said. She said, once someone shows you who they are, believe them. The first time. Why would you allow someone to cut your throat over and over, and as you lie there bleeding, you blaming God and cursing the enemy? But what did you do? Oh, thank you, Music Lover for Life. What did you do to contribute to the attack. Caesar knew everybody was trying to get rid of him. Oh, but he trusted old Brutus, though. And even as Brutus stabbed him in the stomach, Caesar could not believe that Brutus had cut him. Caesar said, "And you too, Brutus? The entire Senate is against you, dear Caesar. In its entirety. They're against you." So you thought Brutus wasn't. What have you done to contribute to the attacks that are happening in your life? And until you take responsibility for that, they will continue to happen. Your business. I read a story about this lady, 50 plus years old. Hey, Eric, I remember you. I met you at James Malachek event in Los Angeles about 4 years ago. There was a woman that's about 50 something years old, and she left corporate America to start a business. Great business idea, no business sense. She didn't hire not one business coach. She didn't solicit not one piece of business advice. She invested, every day. She invested over $100,000 in starting a brick and mortar business. But at no point did she solicit professional advice. Within 3 months, the money was gone. Her business was closed. And with her being over 50, she couldn't get back in corporate America. So she was running around and she was upset. I mean, I understand. I understand you upset. You tried to do this business thing and it didn't work. You tried to leave corporate America. That didn't work. Now they don't want to pay you what they was paying you before. They want to pay you pennies. But hold up, sister. I just want to ask you one question. Hey, I'm going to call you guys right back, okay? If you're going to invest that much money in a business, at what point would you say to yourself, let me get some professional help? Let me get some professional advice. Let me seek counsel. Let me get a business plan. Let me hire a business coach and get some strategy. See, that's what some of you are doing. You're spending money on websites and email funnels and email marketing, and you're spending money on all of these things that because you don't have a strategy, you don't have your products priced right. If you do have products, you don't have a strategy on how to drive people to the website. You don't have none of that stuff. And then when your business goes under, you say, oh my God, what happened to my business? Same thing with your relationships. I have two of my best friends. They're relationship coaches. People will not invest to save their relationships. You spend more money on the wedding that you're willing to spend to keep the love of your life, to keep the communication flow. I don't understand it. And then you say, oh my God, my marriage. But what did you do to contribute? Am I helping anybody? I know it's hard to swallow because I know the easy thing is to say, I'm under attack. And I'm not going to say you're not. But it's a difficult cross to bear when you have to take accountability for what you've done or what you've not done. If it's helping you, type it in the chat now. I know y'all be running around talking about coach being hard on us. But guess what? I be hard on myself. And so when things happen in my life, I've got to be, well, that the old folks say, I got to be earnest. I got to be earnest to myself and say, self, What did you do to facilitate this? What did you do to contribute to this? What should you have done to head this off at the pass? How did you aid in this happening to you? See, it's easy to say, woe is me. It's a little bit harder to say, shoulda, woulda, coulda. So what do? Number one, you got to be ready for attacks. You know, people ain't loyal. Jobs ain't loyal. You run around with no backup plan for your job. And then you get laid off. And you talking about, Coach, I got laid off. Right? You see that pencil, Courtney? Coach, I got laid off and I can't pay my bills. But you know your job ain't loyal. What did you do to create a backup plan? Nothing. Because, see, we got a bad habit as humans that when things are good, we don't look at the dog's side. That's why they was out there laughing at Noah. Tell him, Rolanda, that's why they was out there laughing at Noah. Good morning, Vet. When he was building that ark. What he building that ark for? It don't never rain here. You don't get it. Just because it never rains doesn't mean it won't rain. So when Noah got out there and got to building that ark, and they pointed and they laughed. Hey, good morning to Glam Artists. Had the children walking by, laughing at him. They wasn't right there. Baby, on about day 3 or day 4, that rained. Because, see, we had Hurricane Harvey here in Houston. So I know what that water rising looks like after about day 3 or day 4 of endless rain. By day 3 or day 4, trust and believe they wasn't laughing at Noah no more. Just because things are good doesn't mean things will always be good. So number 1, be ready. Number 2, when you start getting under attack, that's not the time to fall down and scream and roll on the floor. Oh, I'm under attack. I'm under attack. You calling everybody. Oh, Lord, I'm under attack. What do I do? What do I do? Girl, in the time you took to call about 5 people that really don't care that you under attack no way, probably got off the phone with you and said that's what she get. In the time it took for you to call that 5 people, you might could have figured out you a plan. So you already wasn't ready for the attack. But when the attack comes, you got to keep going. You got to do whatever you got to do to fight off that attack. And none of it involves posting on Facebook. And none of it involves calling your friends. Unless they real friends and they going to put their Vaseline on their face and they Tim's on and ride out and come help you. But if they ain't real friends, what you calling them for? Advertising your bad news. Be all up on Facebook tomorrow. Y'all pray for me. All up on the book. They steady on, oh girl, we got you covered in prayer. Lord, please strike her down there. They praying against you. Stop. You've already done yourself a huge disservice by not being ready. So just stop. Just stop. Don't make it worse. Right? Don't make it worse. Keep going. Formulate you a plan and keep going. Number 3, learn from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. I see so many people make the same mistakes. Okay, you started that first business. You didn't get help. It failed. You started the second business. You ain't get no help. It failed. How many more times? You was in that first relationship. It didn't work. You didn't get help. Second relationship. How many more times are you going to do the same thing over and over and expect different results? And that's just so super true. At some point, good morning, Josetta, you learn from your mistakes or lack thereof. If you're in the same place that you were this time last year, this time the year before, this time the year before that, with limited or no movement. Like Jesus said, how long will you lie there? It said that in Proverbs. How long will you lie there? Hey, good morning, Patrina. And you got to ask yourself, when and what am I going to do to change my situation? Last but not least, when you've done the work, be ready for the victory. When you've done the work, somebody look at your neighbor, type it in, do the work. If you don't do the work, please don't expect a victory. You can pray and pray and pray till you blue in the face. But until you do the work, please don't expect the victory. But now, as you're doing the work, expect the victory. As you're doing the work, expect the victory. Look for positive outcomes. Look for miracle signs and wonders as you're doing the work. I'm just being honest with you guys. So guys, let me tell you what I need y'all to do. I need you to make an honest assessment of your business. And today I need you to answer only one question for me. Would your business survive a serious economic downturn? Would your business survive a serious recession? And if the answer is no, go to bit.ly/Dallas Millions. Meet me tonight. I'm doing the webinar for only $19 because I know you need it. You need to come with pen and paper and be ready to formulate a strategy. And some of the things I'm going to tell you to do, no, they're not easy, but they're required for you to be able to feed your family. See, here's the difference. I know that whether the economy is good or bad, I still have to feed my family. Does that apply to any of you? Somebody say, me too, coach. See, I know that whether the economy is good or bad, I still got to pay my bills. Somebody say, me too, coach. I just want to make sure I'm with the right people. See, some of y'all may be so rich that this don't apply to you. But see, I know my children love to eat too, Lolo. And see, I know that whether a job lays me off or not, I still have financial responsibilities. And see, I know that when it's all said and done, I don't have anybody to call that's going to pay these bills over at this house. Somebody, am I resonating with anybody? So what I have to do is go all the way back to number one. What I told you guys earlier is be prepared. Don't ever be so comfortable that you don't have a plan for the plan for the plan. And that's what tonight is about. I really want you guys to get it. We lowered the price to $19. And at the end of the day, this is insurance. So say the economy doesn't get bad this year. Eventually it's going to get bad and you got a plan. I really think it's going to get bad this year though. And that's the true story. I wouldn't even bring it to you. These are, matter of fact, the notes that I'm giving you tonight are the notes from me and my team. This is our fair weather plan. This is what we plan to do to head off an economic downturn. So I plan to share it with you. You got to say yes. You got to say it's worth my $19 to protect my business. And you see the businesses closing. You see the Walmarts closing. You see the Michael Kors closing. The Paylesses. You see the malls closing. You see Toys R Us closing. You see mainstay organizations closing their doors left and right. And if that wasn't enough, it's tonight. I'm doing a replay tonight at 6 p.m. If you can't get there, you can get the replay. Still only $19. Sign up. But when I saw, let me tell you, I was going back and forth. The website again, and somebody typing it on Periscope and Facebook, is bit.ly/Dallas, DALLAS, millions. because that's where I was when I did the original presentation. I was in Dallas last Thursday. bit.ly/Dallas, DALLAS, millions. And click on the live stream ticket option. The name of the event is called 7 the Hard Way. How to earn 7 figures even when times are tough. Because it's still my goal to make more than $1 million this year. I wouldn't care if it was a run on a bank tomorrow. I told you earlier, I make big goals and then I go make big plans to make them. So I don't care what Trump do, what Congress do, what you do. I still got my financial goals. And I plan to make them regardless. And that's the plan that I'm going to share with you guys tonight. BIT. Thank you, D. Marie, for typing it in. Thank you, Carisha. bit.ly/Dallas millions. Look at it as insurance on your next level. Because I'm going to do what I need to do, and heaven forbid. And another reason I told you guys earlier, do not wait until the downturn starts to say to yourself, shoulda, woulda, coulda. All right, let me get out of here. I think that's my grocery delivery at the door. Love you guys. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be back later. bit.ly/Dallas millions. Tell your friends and don't miss it.